I don't know. I've always had a very close relationship with the divine and didn't need an in between, especially one that condemned me, not knowing it was me. I guess, and when they knew me in person, they knew I was a really good person. So it just, everybody has to find what works for them. But I completely can relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, you talk about the in between, and one of the questions, and I'll tell you two quick stories how I actually got kicked out and asked never to come back. But the first one was, looking into this, I didn't understand the whole have to pray to Mary thing. And I had a client who was a Sunday school teacher for a church. And I says, so what's this? I thought you're supposed to have a one-on-one direct relationship with God, the whole thing like this through prayer. And he says, no, you got to pray through Mary because she's the conduit. I said, oh, and he happened to be on the leg press. So he'd only done 180 pounds at the most on that leg press for 10 reps. So I think it was 360 pounds on it. And he looked at me like, what the heck are you doing? I said, I want big legs. You're the conduit. So go to work. And he was not happy with that. But inquiring because of the whole looking to convert thing, I was asking questions, and I hate being told just because,
Yeah.
which is from everybody I've talked to very common when it comes to, certain religions. It's just because. That's the way it is, just because. And finally, at one point, the minister, because I kept asking questions, because I wasn't going to convert just for the sake of doing it. I wanted to believe in my heart it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately, my mouth got me in the wrong spot because, he asked about total belief in the Bible. And I made a rant that I said, well, that was every part of the Bible was written, you know, by 2 or 3 generations out. It wasn't even the actual people there. It was 2 or 3 generations out. These books were put together by other people. I said, where you got somebody like Buddha, who they wrote down every word as he said it, from his mouth. It wasn't hearsay. And at that point, the minister, he says, Mr. Berber, why don't you just go ahead and head out the door and don't come back? So,
Yeah. One of the other big conflicts, and I know that you will understand this as well, for people that leave early on their own doing, like you had spoken about, um, being told originally that there was a limbo and what happens. Well, I talk to people on the other side, and that isn't